Welcome everybody to day 7. Woohoo! We did a whole week so far, and we are looking at Nehemiah 9:6 today. And this, as well as everything else, can be found down below in the links. So if you want to find the Bible verses for this, it's 30 Days of Bible Art Journaling Praise. I'm Anna Tracy, and I am at the Bumblebee and Me. And we'll just dive right into today's. It's like I said, Nehemiah 9:6. You are the Lord, you alone. You have made heaven. You have made the heavens of heavens with all their hosts, the earth and all that is in it, the seas and all that is in them. You preserve all of them, and the hosts of heaven worship you. Nehemiah 9:6. And you think about that. The host of heaven worships you. And those are the hosts, is the angels. So when we are participating in worshiping the Lord and praising Him, we are joining in with the host of heaven. You're not alone. It's not something that you're doing by yourself. When you get together in a group of believers, you as believers are not doing it alone. You are joining in a much bigger fellowship and congregation, so to speak. So I want to encourage you in this process of continuing praising Him and worshiping Him. And today we're going to try a couple of techniques that we haven't done before. So we have some watercolor, and I am going to show you possibly, let's see, how to do some smushing. So watercolor smushing. So if you feel like I don't know how to watercolor, that's okay. We're going to use some bubble wrap, and we're going to use some acetate, so from packaging. And to get started, we're going to get my lightest blue here is the cerulean blue on my palette. Now, if you don't have watercolor, but you do have like distress inks, which are water-based, you can just kind of adding here. So that way, I'll bring this over so you can see it a little better. And what we're going to do is just kind of put that down and then smush it around. Now this page has been treated, so in case you're wondering, I did give it a good dollop down with that absorbent ground. So I didn't want to have that same pilling problem that I had the other day, so I'm just kind of getting that ink, or in this case watercolor, to kind of, and picking it up and removing it around. So that just looks really like sprayed water. That's really cool. So we can really use this. So I'm just trying to get some watercolor and water down on this. And there, it looks like it's kind of trying to find where the blank spots are at. Laying down that foundation of color. So and you can do different things, but smushing, you can actually just kind of smush it out And there's wonderful texture on here from that absorbent ground, so we can really, and I'm kind of trying to spread it on that side just so we can get it over there as well. And then on that edge. Okay. Now we're going to go with the next darker color. So we lay down that color. And it'll be interesting to see. I think I'll put it actually on here first. And I'm picking up cobalt blue. I'm watering that down a little bit to make it move. And I'm then going to put it onto my little thing there, so to try to give it texture. You can see how I'm doing that. Okay, now I don't mind putting things down on this side because I have my wrap stuff on there, so it's not a big deal to me to get that on there. So again, just getting water and some more watercolor to move that around. So I'm using some more cobalt blue again. And then when I get done with this process, I am going to then dry it all off. And after I dry it, I'm going to then add some stamping and some words. So, okay, so now I did it in that color. And now I'm going to go in with my last color. So, I started with cerulean blue, which was my lighter blue. Then I went with cobalt, which is the mid color. And now I'm going to go with Prussian blue. So it's a pretty dark blue. So I'm going to try to keep that mainly at the bottom. Just barely tapping because I'm not sure how much. Let's see that. Beautiful color. Look at that. Isn't that a beautiful color? So, and you can either ink smush, but I'm going to do some more of that tapping using my bubble wrap. So, and just building up texture and color is the goal here. So, okay. And I want to finish off up here with some green blue. So I don't have a real green blue, but I do have it says Vividian, which, ooh, I am sure that's not how you pronounce that, but I am going to use that. It looks to be more on the blue side, so. And I'm going to go in with back to my cerulean blue because it's a similar color, right? You know, we are using, you know, where you want to bring in that color. So because you're bringing it in, you're wanting to make sure you use similar colors. So now I'm going to ink smush up above. There was a lot of there, so we are going to move it around, and usually it doesn't stick quite so well, but I have a feeling it's because of the absorbent grounds. So I'm going to add some more water and more of that green, and then a little bit more of that cerulean blue. and just dab it in, and then kind of blend it in right in this area so it's not quite, puddled. That's okay. This is a play thing. So if you feel like, oh, I can't do that, you want to bring that down to kind of tie that in. So then there you go. So we've built up some colors. We have it lighter green and down to blue. So I think I'm going to go back to just a little bit more of that darker. I will mix some of that cobalt and Prussian blue and bring it to the bottom. So, and then that way we can get that down below. Okay. And like I said, we'll dry it and then stamp. So okay, we'll be back here in just a minute. Okay, so we're back with a dried surface, and I have these stamps here that are Newton's Nook. I'm just showing you the packaging, but this is the actual stamp set. So you can see it has all kinds of different little sea creatures on it. And I'm going to start with this one, which is a coral kind. So, and I think the coral would be great. Maybe we'll give it a dark color. And then make everything else a little on the brighter side. So we're going to stamp this up. I'm using all Memento inks. So it's rich cocoa. I'll move up my Bible a little bit so you can see that better. And I'm not real worried that if this should overlap. I'm just creating a scene here. So, and some of that texture is as a result of that absorbent grounds I used earlier. So it is completely dry, what I was creating with. So just getting that all in there. So making sure we get it all. And we have a shell. So I think our shells we're going to make in a tan color. It's called Desert Sand. We'll see how well this comes up. So I'm just tapping it down on there. Looks like it's transferring. Oh, it's pretty faint though. Okay, so I've got this one with potter's clay. It's a little seahorse. And I imagine that they would just be floating around, hanging out for the day. And enjoying seeing how the day is going, and just thinking as you're working on your page about how God made it all and did it all. So including the sea and everything that is in it. Again, I'm not worried about putting something down on that page because it is just all covered up with that stuff. So I've got this wonderful little fishy here that we're going to stamp it up. Maybe we'll put him the other direction, kind of coming out of that coral there. That's where he lives, around that coral area. And we're trying to keep this area up here free, so and I love this. It's called rhubarb stock. So a nice dark red to do the starfish with. Put one down here amongst the coral. And then patting it on the ink. So turning it around a little bit. The other side has a, oh, it skipped there because it hit my finger. Might be able to put something near it so it covers it up. My finger hit that spot, so I'll put this down here, overlapping both the coral and that other shellfish I did earlier. And like I said, I hit that, my finger hit that, so I think what I'm going to do is get a different color out for this round sand dollar. So kind of interesting because sand dollars like an off-white, but you know, when things are wet sometimes they look like they actually have more color to them than when they dry off. So we're going to imagine that it's kind of more of a gray. So I'm going to really stamp that gray onto it. And it's London Fog, the gray's name. In case you're wondering, they do come in bigger sizes. I'm going to go over that spot. That's a good color. Makes it show up. So put one down here in this corner. And finishing off, let's see, one maybe down in here. Now say if you walked away from your ink and you came back to it and you feel like you have to re-smack it a few times with your ink pad, you actually don't. All that you have to do is just kind of breathe on it, like a heavy breathe, to re-moisten your ink pad. So you just, that's that sound, you know, and that your breath, the little bit of water that's in your breath will re-moisten that. So put these off to the side. We'll clean them off later. And I just want to capture that one word that is coming off of that. So in verse 6, it does say that you have made the heaven and the heavens of heavens with all the hosts, the earth, and all that is in the seas. And I'm going to put all that's in the seas from this day. And I hope that you have a wonderful day. And so exciting that we have made it this far. And so I just want to encourage you to keep up the wonderful work and keep praising the Lord in all that you're doing. And subscribe and hit down below the like button, and more will be coming your way. And we wish you a blessed day. Bye-bye.